The September 2012 Hot Wheels Collectors event at Kmart gave many collectors their first look at some 2013 new products. This Phaeton was one of the ones released. It also gave us some new models to wrap up the 2012 new models. Here you have the Mars Curiosity Rover, Street Creeper, Altered Ego. I have 3 more new models here that also appeared at the event. For your Angry Birds fan, here we have the Minion Pig. Team Hot Wheels fans, finally got our Custom 71 El Camino. And the 3-wheeler Blastus Moto. Now these are the remaining 2012 new models. And it was kind of neat to see them showing up at Kmart. Now, the new models in 2012, I'm going to cover some ground to give you guys relevance between the 2012 new models and products and the 2013 upcoming models. New models had a yellow stripe for the last few years. Let me show you some of the other series. The series cars also had colored stripes. You have Track Stars had orange, HW Main Street had dark blue, Code Cars had a dark gray stripe, Treasure Hunt series had a green stripe. Oh, I forgot this one. The Thrill Racers series had a red stripe. Now the Thrill Racers series, even though it was a series and it had red cars, amongst the Thrill Racers, there was actually sub-series. You also had models like the Paradigm Shift, which was Thrill Racers, just like Thrill Racers. But see, it was the ICE segment. This was Mitsubishi 2008 Lancer Evolution is part of the Swamp Rally. So Thrill Racers Swamp Rally, ICE for the Paradigm Shift, and the Try and Stop Me was part of the Beat series for 2012. Kind of neat looking at Try and Stop Me now because that was a front-wheeled 2-wheeler. And then now the new model Blastus, we got a little chopper. You got a rear-wheeled 2-wheeler. So the series cars had their own special colors. You know, the Treasure Hunt series had its green banner. See right here, Treasure Hunt series. Now, the Hot Wheels, here's 2012, they were called new models. It wasn't that long ago when they were called first editions. Here's an example where they were called first editions. Here's the Screaming Hauler. This is the one that I use for my Power Tower Demolition Derby. So, 2012, we got new models. Before that, they were called first editions. And then before that, new models. They were called new model series. Up in the corner said new model. Now, I don't have the exact years that each one was called which. You can look up that stuff for yourself. Now, I mentioned the Treasure Hunt series. So we have the Green Stripe Treasure Hunt series. So the basic Treasure Hunts had green stripes. The green stripes have been a green stripe for a long time, would designate the series. Here we have ourselves an Altered State. Now see, back then, even regular Treasure Hunts had rubber treads. Let's see, what else do I have here? Pikes Peak Celica had rubber tires. And see, even this is an international package. If you see right here, it's hard to see, but it says DE, number 9 of 12, and number 9 de 12, 11, So this is an international packaging, and you can see the text here being in multiple languages, but you don't see Treasure Hunt on the package at all. So even though it doesn't say Treasure Hunt on the package, it was part of the Treasure Hunt series, and it had the green stripe. Go back a little ways further. I think this is 98, 99. But here's the Kenworth. Got the green Treasure Hunt series. So they maintain the green banner for the treasure hunts since 1995. They've been using the green banner. Well, now that we're in coming up on the 2013 model year, green stripes are gone. No more green stripes. That's right. There's a treasure hunt right there. This HW City bread box is a treasure hunt. It's going to be a basic treasure hunt. Now, in the past, Mattel had treasure hunts. They would have recently, Mattel had the treasure hunt green stripes would be basic with plastic wheels. That's 2012 and a few years earlier. But they also had super treasure hunts. So here I have an example of a super treasure hunt. Super treasure hunts were changed to where they don't have the green stripe. What it was a really spiffed up version of a regular release for 2012 and a couple years before that. They would have, not a couple years, anyways, regular release, super release. And if you see, doesn't say nothing about it being a super treasure hunt, nothing. The text on the bottom, HW All-Stars, HW All-Stars. So you got the same name on the side, Ferrari 599XX, but regular had a regular paint job. Super had what Mattel calls a Spectra Flame paint job. The regular issue, this is not a treasure hunt, the regular car had plastic wheels. Then they made a superized version of the regular car, and it had rubber tires. The other difference is many of the super treasure hunts would have like roof decorations. So you got a black roof on this one and nothing on this one. Let me show you a couple other 2012 supers. Now see, this is a basic release. This is not a treasure hunt here. Basic release. Then they released a superized version. The writing on the package is exactly the same, but the car on top, regular paint, regular wheels. Car on bottom, it has a little bit of a metallic paint job, but it's got special red line tires. Now, as again, the superized version got stripes on the hood, and the regular version did not. And that's reflected on the package as well. You got your stripes here, stripes on the super. And the third super, let me show you just to drag this on and on. Here's your regular release for the Chevy Chevelle. This was not a super, even though I think this was like the first one that came out. This might have been the first super to appear, because at Kmart Collectors Day last year, everybody was saying, this is super, super, super. No! The super had a special metallic paint job. It's a little harder to tell on camera, but it had plastic tires. The super had rubber tires. See the rubber treads there? And the super also had stripes on the hood. And in the package, got stripes. Over here, no stripes. So now for 2013, the treasure hunt system will be changed. There will be no green stripes. There'll be no more green banners. As a matter of fact, this is a basic treasure hunt. Basic treasure hunt. How do you know it's a basic treasure hunt? Well, let me show you. The basic treasure hunts are going to have this little emblem right here. I could bring it in close. You see it there? See that little circle with the flame logo? That logo has actually been around for a little bit. They bring it back from time to time. Let me show you this old Larry's Garage piece. Here you got Larry's Garage. Got a nice little classic Packard. Up in the corner, they got that logo. Here's a military rods, Pontiac GTO. Up in the corner, there's the logo. So it's really easy to see the logo on this package. And then let me go ahead and bring over the treasure hunt. And down there in the corner, that's what you're looking for. A circle with the flame logo means this car is a treasure hunt. Now, there's going to be basic treasure hunts for 2013, and there's going to be supers for 2013. In 2012, the basic treasure hunts and the super treasure hunts were not the same car. You had this basic Treasure Hunt 92 Mustang, there was not a Super 92 Ford Mustang. Okay, the Supers were 15 different cars, and the basics were 15 different cars. None were mixed and matched. So for 2013, it appears that the Treasure Hunts, we don't know how many there'll be, not yet, will have that little logo. But not only that, let me get my knife. I'll be right back. I'm going to cut this open. Not only that, but there's going to be a little indication behind the car. You can't really see it this time because the bread box is so big. But behind the bread box, behind the car, here you got your bread box. Let me go ahead and bring it in here. There's your little logo. And let me go and open it up. And behind the car, there you go. You got a little text right here. It says, this symbol lets you know that this vehicle is hard to find and highly collectible. This text, this graphic, is also behind the Super Treasure Hunts. Let me show you a picture that I'm borrowing to show you a Super Treasure Hunt, how it has that text behind the package. So here's the basic bread box. It's got that. Now this logo is supposed to show up on all the basic Treasure Hunts. You're not going to be looking for a green stripe. You're going to be looking for a logo on the vehicle, and you're going to be looking for text behind the package. If it has rubber tires, it's a Super. If it doesn't, it's a regular. Now, I just wanted to pick this one up just because it looks like a postal vehicle. And since I work for the post office, I love me some postal trucks. This one's from a while ago. So I have quite a few of these bread boxes because they often decorate it with the HWPS insignia. So there is your information for the Treasure Hunts. Let me talk a little bit about the rest of the line, how it's going to go down. As I showed you here with the Phaeton, comes from the HW Showroom series. HW Showroom, it just happened that the first three models to come in the K-Day cases, that they just happen to come from this segment. Okay, and notice they put the segment on the card now instead of the name of the card. Here in the past they put the name of the car there and the series would be on the bottom. So now it's flipped. Now we got the name of the series, and actually this is only going to be the main name of the series. There's going to be 5 series. You got the HW Showroom, there's going to be Imagination, there's going to be Stunt, there's going to be Race, and there's going to be Showroom. Sorry, my pinky's broken. 5 different segments, and in each segment there's going to be sub-segments. And that information was sneaked right here on the back. So you got the Phaeton. Even though I showed you it's from the HW Showroom segment, it's actually going to be in a sub-segment called American Turbo. Here we got the Ferrari. And if you find this Ferrari with the black interior, you got yourself a little keeper. The Ferrari is part of the Asphalt Assault sub-segment of the HW Showroom segment. HW Showroom, here you got the Nissan Titan. No more bike in the back, thank you. Nissan Titan is part of the HW Hot Trucks sub-segment. So there's going to be a city sub-segment that's going to have probably 4 sub-segments. Imagination is going to have a few, including a Batman sub-segment. The Stunt segment is going to have a few. That's Stunt segment and the Imagination segment are going to have fewer sub-segments, fewer cars than the rest of the releases. The Race sub-segment, you can expect 5 different sub-segments, including downhill racers. Now I'm kind of looking forward to that because I like to downhill race, but in the $1 line, there's not a whole lot of heavy cars anymore. But anyway, Showroom, the HW Showroom segment is going to have the most cars. It's probably going to have like 80 cars in this segment. And that's kind of just like, I'll bet you we're going to see cars like the Muscle Mania series, and then they'll have Chevy, Ford, whatever. I don't know about that. I'm speculating, but nonetheless, now there's going to be segments and then sub-segments inside each segment. Not only that, the sub-segments, or the segments, the treasure hunts, you see how this one says HW City. This one is actually part of the city segment, but the treasure hunts are not going to be all in one segment. What's interesting about this is this one is part of some sub-segment called HW City Works. I have no information on this sub-segment. The only sub-segment I know about is called City Rides. So I don't know how that's going to work out. Oh yeah, back to the new models. So 2012 said new models, said right on the package new models. New models are not going to be broken out separately. New models are going to be spread out in each subsegment. So sometimes the new model is going to be in the HW showroom. Sometimes it's going to be an Imagination, race, or whatever. Okay, so how are you going to know it's a new model? Underneath the Hot Wheels logo, it's going to say new for 2013. That's kind of like they did in the early 1995. I got all my cars all around here. In 1995, up in the corner, it said new. So it's kind of interesting how things are coming back around. Wow, I got all my cars here. I don't know where it is. Oh, here we go. So back in 95, they said up in the corner, new model. So expect something like that. But right here under the logo, it's going to say new for 2013. And I think that's about it. So treasure hunts, you're basically, I am so happy that they finally got rid of that green stripe, because it made it easier for people who don't collect. All they do is they look through the case, they see the green stripe, bloop, it's gone. All of a sudden, only 71 count cases keep coming out from the back. So I am super happy that they're getting rid of the green stripe. Now, it doesn't make it a treasure hunt now because it doesn't say treasure hunt on the package. That's up to you. I know absolutely that Mattel internally calls this a treasure hunt. Just because I have just a little bit of access to some upcoming information. I just can't share it with you guys, because when they share it with me, it's because I put something on my blog. I put a picture on my blog, and that's my only permission to do so. So now basics are going to have plastic tires and the logo. Supers, there's been 2 supers released so far at this time, and they do say this behind the car. They got this little information behind the car right here. But I did not see the logo on the car and the 2 that have been released. I have not seen that circle. So maybe the supers are not going to have it on the car. They're only going to have this behind the car. So while I am really happy that they're getting rid of the green stripe, they turn around and put this behind the car so every person knows which cars to pick. Now, maybe they just won't pay attention for a while, but eventually word's going to get out. And yeah, basically, I got people watching my videos, and they're going to say, they're going to know what to look for now as well. That's just the way it goes. All I can do is try to help you guys, try to give you a leg up, and hopefully not so many stalkers know about this. And more and more supers get to collectors. I know from videos that you guys are doing and collectors, a whole lot more supers were getting into the hands of collectors. So I'm looking forward to 2013. How about you guys? Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.